Talk to me.
He went over this building right here.
I was looking up because I was mad at this document right here. I said, damn, when they gonna open that? And then all of a sudden I saw red and white stuff go over the building. But the fire department was sitting here all morning.
Yeah,
they were sitting right there, and I was wondering what they doing.
And I said, what is the fire department just sitting there for? That's what I'm thinking. Is it a conspiracy?
The fire department was sitting here all morning.
Yeah,
they were sitting right there, and I was wondering what they doing.
And I said, what is the fire department just sitting there for? That's what I'm thinking. Is it a conspiracy?
And I heard boom.
I saw the person go overhead or something.
I watched it. I seen it go.
Wow.
And I heard the boom.
And I said, look at the smoke.
That's what I thought. See, I thought as soon as it happened, I said, was it terrorists? Because the fire department been waiting there. Like they've been waiting for them to come in. Unless it's been planned to come in. I saw it was a red and white plane. It was so low to this building right here, I couldn't believe it.
That's an explosion. He was in the lobby and the third explosion, the whole lobby collapsed on us.
What was it like? What was it like?
Horrible.
It's like hell. You don't want to know.
The whole building just collapsed on us inside the lobby.
Was that a secondary explosion?
Yes, it was.
That was the
Planet probably?
Yeah, definitely a secondary explosion. But we was inside waiting to go upstairs, and on the way upstairs, the whole fucking plane blew. And we just collapsed on everybody inside the lobby.
Similar to the first tower coming down, secondary?
I don't know about the first one, but I know the second one was terrible. Then there was a third one too after that one.
Third explosion after that?
That's right. Everybody was inside the building, waiting to go upstairs, and they just let loose. Everything just let loose inside the building.
So what you told me is that there was the plane or whatever hit the building, then a secondary explosion.
It was like 3 explosions after that. We came in after the fire. We came when the fire was going on already. We was in the staging area inside the building, waiting to go upstairs. Then they exploded. The whole lobby collapsed on the lobby inside.
And it's just mayhem after that?
Just man, everybody tried to make their way out.
Just trying to help all the brothers get out.
A lot of people trapped inside.
I was sitting in the Brooklyn Navy Yard across from Brooklyn. We watched the first explosion. As we're watching the buildings, I saw a black, very large airplane fly right into the second building. It came out of the south, right in front of our eyes. Just, it was so surreal, like a movie set.
Second and third explosions also, right?
We were in the building for the third one, the collapse. I was on this drive here for the other one.
These people don't understand. There may be more. Any one of these fucking buildings could blow up. This ain't done yet.
This is on top of this. This couldn't be no worse than this. Couldn't be nothing no more worse than this. You're in the building trying to help people, and it's exploding on the inside the building. So I don't think it can get any worse than this.
But it's anything but over here.
I live at 25 London Street, a couple of blocks from here. I'm all the time hanging out in the corner on the liquor store. This morning, I saw the plane coming this way in a spot. It was factory directly to the building.
Was this the first plane or the second plane?
That was the first plane. The second plane, is no second plane. It was a bomb. Bombed in the building, not second plane. That was a bomb. Who said the second plane?
That's what we're told. The second plane. We saw it on television.
I saw everything.
All right. Thanks a lot. This is. Stop and talk to us. Where were you?
Top of the roof, 25 Park Place. Me and a super heard the loud noise from a jet. We look up and we see this big jet, like a 737 or a 720.
It was a 757?
About that. It was a big jet.
Yeah.
We saw it come just looking like it's sideways. At first, we thought it was just going to try to miss it. Bang! Right into the middle of it, like around the 70th floor. And then half hour later, we see the second one bang into it. We're on the roof of it. We're a block away. I mean,
what's going through your mind when you see this happen?
You see bodies flying out of the sky and you can't do nothing about it. You tell me. You tell me what you think. I mean, my heart's in my mouth. I mean, I pray for these people. There's no words to describe what's going on out there. I mean, you see bodies just coming a half hour later, still coming out of the goddamn sky. Devastating. Devastating. I can't imagine anything worse than this. It's got to be. I can't imagine. You know, everybody on the plane must have died. The floor, I got friends of mine on 104th floor, friends on other buildings. I just spoke to one of my friends a half hour prior to that, getting ready to go upstairs to go to work. It's devastating. I mean, I've seen a lot of construction accidents. I've seen a lot of bad things happen. Never seen a jet fall out of the sky into a building, no less once, but twice. Devastating.
Okay, sir. Tony, you hear me?
Can you tell us your name?
My name's Paul Lemos.
And what are you doing down here? What do you do?
I've been here the last 3 days putting up a stage and a set for a company out of Quebec. They were advertising their city.
And what did you see happen this morning?
I saw...
Where were you when it happened?
Well, what happened was I was supposed to be at work at 9 o'clock. I got here about 10 till, and as I was coming out of the subway below the World Trade Center, I got to the top, and somebody screamed, I heard a big boom, and somebody screamed, bomb. And then everybody started running down the escalators, and I kind of held my position, and I saw through the glass windows a bunch of debris falling from the sky. And in between the center, there's like a big globe. It's a courtyard with a stage, and I just saw stuff crashing down, and I didn't know what it was. So as everybody was running out, I was by myself. I went outside and I looked up, and the World Trade Center was on fire. And it was 90. I found out later it was like 96 flights high, and there was all this smoke, and I started to see people dropping out.
Which building were you running out of?
I was running out of, the subway stations are directly underneath the World Trade Centers, each tower.
So you were inside the World
I was underneath the tower. I was at the basement of the Trade Center when the explosion happened. And then when I came out, I looked up. Well, I wasn't in the basement. I was next door to it. I looked up and I saw it. And then out of the corner of my eye, I saw what I thought was a plane. I found out later it was. I saw something hit the second tower. And when I saw that, it just was, everything rumbled, and I saw all this fire just shoot out in the sky, and stuff started just falling like it was raining. And I was by myself, and I just ran, and I hid underneath the scaffold, and I just started sawing metal and rock and tons of glass just falling from the sky, and I was frightened. And I looked around, and the police officer was running by because I saw what I thought was a person. And I said, "Sir, I just saw somebody fall." He goes, "There's a lot of people jumping out right now." And I said, "Oh my God." So he said, "Get over here." So he walked me across the street to that American Express building, and I sat there. And as I was sitting there, I looked up, and they were trying to get everything in control. There was a fire department, everybody was there. And I started seeing people they started jumping out of the window, like at the 96 floors. They just started one at a time from different parts of the building. I just started seeing people just drop. And I must have counted like 30 or 40 people, you know. And as I was standing there, the mayor of New York, and I heard some commotion, and I looked, and he had just walked up, and he had a group of people around him, and he was like 20 feet from me. But I looked at him, and when I looked at him, he had just happened to look up, and somebody was falling from the tower, and he just grabbed his face and he stepped back because it was horrifying. And then I was sitting there. A few minutes later, there was a boom. I was talking to two firemen. There was a boom, and I was directly at the foot of the Trade Center at this point, and they heard a boom, and I found out later there's a hotel in between the two towers, the Marriott. I believe it's the Marriott, and it's like 30 stories. It collapsed, and it just started hitting into this highway, and it started coming right at us. So everybody that was working had to run for their lives because there was a bunch of debris. I mean, it looked like it's like a miniature. It looked like somebody was dumping like a construction into a dumpster, but blow it up like a world. It looked like it was a miniature set. That's what it looked like. It just was so huge, you couldn't believe that anything could be that big. It was like a tidal wave, and it came at us, and we started running for our lives. And people got knocked over. There was rocks flying into people. I got hit in the back of the head with a rock, and then the smoke caught up to me and passed me, and it wasn't smoke, it was brown because it was the dirt. And it was getting in my lungs, and the rocks were falling in my eyes. And then I got past this bridge here, and that's where it stopped. And when I got there were people there, and I was just completely covered in white. I was completely brown, and somebody was helping me get some water because I couldn't talk. And then as I was sitting there, a few minutes went by, and I saw all these fire department men and police coming out, and they were completely covered. And there was a Poland Springs guy who pulls water up, and I just jumped in and started opening these big gallons and just giving them to the guys as they came by, because I had just gone to it, so I knew that they needed water. And I stood there for a few minutes, and then I don't know how much time went by. All of a sudden I looked up, and about 20 stories below, at least that's what it looked like to me, about 75 flights up below the fire, I saw from the corner, boom, 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 boom. Just like 20 straight hits, just went down, and then I just saw the whole building just went, and as the bombs were going, people just started running, and I sat there and watched a few of them explode, and then I just turned around and I just started running for my life, because at that point the World Trade Center was coming right down, right above us, and everybody ran as fast as they possibly could. And I don't know how many people didn't make it, but I know that I went back in there about an hour later, and it's I don't know what a war zone's like, but if that's anything like it, I don't ever want to see it, because the fire trucks that were there originally were on fire, windows were blown out, cars were exploding. The bridge that overlaps, that goes across, that I was working on, is down. There's big holes in the side of buildings that the explosion fired out to. And I don't even want to know about the bodies that fell that they haven't gotten to yet. So
the second thing that was falling on you was the second building.
Well, no, that was the second thing. First off, there was the first plane that hit, then the second plane, and then time passed, and then the third one wasn't an explosion. It was a collapse of the building between the two because of all the debris, and it got too much weight, so it just collapsed. But the last one was the Trade Center itself. This first one here, where it started. Now they told me afterwards it wasn't explosions. I was talking to one of the architects that they pulled in, because he was talking to me about it. He said, "What did you see?" I said, "I saw the fire, and when I looked up, I saw around the 70, because the fire was on the 96th floor. So I looked down, and it happened probably 70, 75. I can't be specific. I looked, and I could see the corner, and it just started going pop. It just started going boom, 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 boom. And he goes, "How fast?" I go, "Like firecrackers."
So the first time you were being dusted off and resting, you then had to escape from that place the second time when the trade tower fell on you.
Yeah.
And you saw it coming toward you?
Yes.
What happened? Just down there?
Yeah, beyond that bridge. So when I got to a place that we thought was safe, that's why what happened was they had shut it off beyond that bridge. But each time the building collapsed, they've been pushing us out further because there's more debris. So I was on the second one. The first one I was on the other side of the bridge. On the second one, it was right before it.
And when you said it was falling like a set, that was before the first one, before the big building fell, before the Trade Center fell.
Yeah, before the Trade Center fell.
But when the Trade Center fell, it was coming toward you?
Well, no, the whole thing collapsed, and it just...
But then the top of it tipped over.
No, I didn't. No. It went straight down.
Right.
It went straight down. But what happens is, because there's so many buildings, the debris kind of follows the building lines and then goes into where the open is. So it went right into the street.
And all this mess we're seeing right down at the end of on West Side Highway here, what is that?
Oh, this?
Yeah, I mean, down there where there's debris across the street.
Okay, you see how you got a bridge here? That's another bridge.
Yeah, the bridge beyond.
Yes, and that's the bridge that connected the World Trade Center to that building right there, the American Express Center. And that's the bridge I was working on. I had just worked on it.
And that's where all the debris from above came.
It landed on there, and then it pushed itself out towards this way.
Okay, tell me again what you do for a living.
I'm a filmmaker, but I was working on a set, building a set for a company.
What kind of
doing
set?
lighting. It was just, you know, Quebec is just.
It was a film set.
No. It was a set for
a stage.
A stage.
And how do you spell your name?
Lemos.
Lemos. Your
first name is Paul. Paul.
And where do you live?
I live in Manhattan.
And where were you to have worked today?
I was going to be working on that bridge that's collapsed now.
That's where the set was going to be.
Yeah. Well, we already started there. I've been there 3 days. This is our last day there. We were just going to fine tune.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.